In this morning's Money Watch, tax day, 1 week away, and surveys show more than 25% of us wait until the very last minute. Well, if you're one of the procrastinators, CBS News business and economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis is here with some helpful hints. So we've got 1 week.
Yeah.
Not going to make the deadline. So what do I do about filing an extension?
Yeah, you can file this extension. It's a Form 4868 that you go to on the IRS website. At this point, what you need to do is pay 90% of what you think you'll owe by April 18th. That's the tax deadline this year. Pay 90% so that you don't face penalties. And what you want to think about is if you're trying to estimate what that 90% might be of what you owe, look back at last year's tax returns. Okay. That'll be a good indicator. Once you file this, your new deadline is 6 months away. It's October 17th, and there's nothing wrong with doing this. I've done it in the past, and it does work.
Yes, I'm in that group as well. Let's say you haven't filed your taxes. You don't necessarily want to go about the extension route. Is there any way you can get them done in the last week?
There are ways that you can get them done. There are great resources out there from some of these online tax preparer services like TaxAct, TurboTax, also talking to an accountant if they'll talk to you at this point in the game. It is a little late, or H&R Block can all be useful to help you get them done.
Just make sure you get all your information.
That's right. And if you feel like you don't, that's one reason to file that extension, because you want to make sure you account for everything.
All right, let's talk about this. You owe money. You can't pay it all at once. Are there some options out there where you can have a little bit of a payment plan?
Yes, there are. And in particular this year, it's clearly been a difficult year for many people. There are installment plans that you can actually file for through the IRS. You will have to pay interest on these, about 0.5% of monthly interest. So it can get expensive. There's an application on the IRS website at irs.gov. And lastly, there is sometimes a fee associated with this, anywhere between $52 and $105. So there is an option for you. You want to try and pay them, but if you can't, that's an option.
How about some of those often overlooked deductions? I think people they make mistakes annually and just not knowing certain things that they can deduct and reap some of the benefits of.
Yeah, and one of the big ones is transportation costs. The transportation to and from medical visits. Of course, we all know you can deduct a medical visit itself, but there are abilities to deduct those costs, how much you drive. Out-of-pocket costs for charity. Did you spend more miles driving to a charity? Did you pay parking? Did you pay tolls? That's something you can deduct. Moving expenses. A number of people may have moved to go to a new job this year. Well, you can actually deduct that expense. Also, tax preparation fees. So if you paid to use a service like H&R Block or an accountant or something along those lines, you can deduct it. Even if you use TurboTax or TaxAct, you can deduct that.
Deduct that, and just be careful. The bigger the mistake you make, the better the chance you are going to get audited. So you have to be careful out there.
Exactly.
All right, Rebecca Jarvis, thanks.